I think we are live. I am not sure. I am guessing. I saw, hold on just a second, and it flashed and it came back. Can you guys see me? Because all I see, I see myself. We are live. First time using the studio out in public. I'm a little nervous, but yay that I have DJ Strick and L Kersey with me today. First of all, I want to let you know that we're talking about virtual backgrounds. And I have a virtual background that I usually use with OneStream Live, and I put it up here. And I'm first off going to bring on DJ Strick. Good morning to you, DJ
Good
Strick.
morning. Good morning. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Oh, I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much for teaching me how to use the studio.
I don't know how well I talk, but I know that you're a very smart young lady, so this was easy for you. All I had to do is kind of point you in the right direction, and you would take it and run with it.
I am trying. Well,
Let's
let
see
me
how
bring
it goes today, right?
yes. Let me bring on El Kersey, our second guest. Hello,
Morning.
Elsie.
Good morning,
Thank you for
guys.
coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. You know, I'm always honored and happy to share the screen with Erica Bates and DJ Strick
Hooray.
for today.
It's nice meeting you, Miss Kersey.
It's nice to meet you as well.
So I brought on the usual background I usually use with OneStream Live, and as you can see, it works great with two people. I'm gonna turn myself off.
Looks good. Looks good. Can see it to the right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do now, I could possibly have a blue background and use the overlays. So I can turn the overlays on and off, and or I could just use like a no background with the overlays. Yeah,
I
same.
get it.
Yeah, I like the blue though. I just wish that I would have realized it went away when I had more than two people.
Well, I don't know what, other than putting it, having another slide and putting it in a different area. Like if it's this particular three people and then we're all in our individual boxes, maybe you could use the left or the right bottom. So build a slide that or background that's in the logo that you had in the right corner is now in the left corner at the bottom where we
Yeah,
have a little space.
yeah.
So it'd be like building multiple background slides, depending on what are we calling those templates? The um like now we're in a particular spot with the three, but you can actually move to different slides where you have us in different places.
That's right. Me by myself, us three up close. Um, me
Main
big, you guys
speaker.
little. Yeah. So there's different ways we can move it around. It's just a little big. But I brought you guys on because I know you guys have like natural backgrounds, but I also know that you guys build backgrounds for other people and you use backgrounds for other things. Like this blue border, I could call it now because it's no longer just a background.
Right.
So, how do you guys use backgrounds when you're hosting events or live stream?
Kirsty, I'll let you go first.
Oh my gosh, we use them for all different kinds of things, especially I we use a lot of I would say psychological marketing tactics where you can put different like you can use like your logos for your branding or your sponsors or whatever inside of your background. You can use like colors create a feeling, um, or excitement. So it depends on what your event is all about. You can I like making things look dimensional. right? So I'm constantly making it like deeper for that kind of thing. That's my favorite thing to do. But it really depends on what the purpose. Me, everything's about the purpose. So what is the purpose of your event? So really creating something that is special for your clients that allows them to have the opportunity to forward their message strongly is essentially what we use our background design for.
That's really good. That's really good. I hadn't thought about all of that. I don't really build backgrounds for clients. Most of my backgrounds that I'm building are for different shows that I have, and
Mhm.
each show is somewhat different. So it would have a different background or aesthetic. And what I'm trying to do is bring a theme in mind with that background. And with the
Mhm.
theme, it's kind of like people understand even more what I'm doing. You may call it something different in marketing, but it's kind of like nonverbal communication. So I'm
Mhm.
communicating to you through that background what exactly the show is about, that theme of the show, so you connect with me a little better. And if the background is built correctly, as you're moving through the different slides, it is speaking to you the whole time. So the background that we're on right now, it's a OneStream background, right? So the color scheme, the schemes, it's the same colors that OneStream uses all the time. So it's an identifier. Now she's changed it to this blue, and it's a cool look. It makes Miss Kirsty looks cool in her slide, and I feel cool even talking, knowing that the background is there, and the audience will feel that as well. If there's moving elements in your background, you want to be sure that it's very subtle. I do use moving video backgrounds, but it's a subtle move to where people they're not bored. It adds an additional layer of aesthetics so people don't get bored. And now this particular background that Erica has us up actually does have audio on it. And in the studio, you're actually able to take the audio out, or with OneStream Studio, you can take the music down to where a person can talk over it. And the music with the background does give a little feeling as well. Some emotion comes out of the music with the background as well. So these are all options you could use with virtual backgrounds.
I fully concur.
That was really great, both of you guys. I was trying to turn the music down. I couldn't figure it out. I had something else over that
Gotcha.
the speaker box. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you have to be mindful of that all the time because there's a lot of options, especially when you use them for the first time. You want to be sure that you can see it all, but it's a master control for all of the music that's at the top of the overlays.
Yeah. Are you guys fans of color theory?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
I use color
So
theory sometimes. I always try to create things that are. I like things that be natural. I try not to force it. So I know color theory is like if you use this color, it makes people feel this or think that or whatever is supposed to represent that. I still try to go with like what I feel is more like a natural option.
okay. Well, I've
And I
tried to
don't
play with. Go ahead,
I don't
DJ
know
Street.
color theory as a term, but in what she's saying, I apparently know color theory, just not as, hey, this is the term. I absolutely know how different colors make people feel,
Mhm.
and try to stay in, those patterns that, aesthetically look good to me, that sends my brand. That kind of matches what I'm doing, but also sends that message as well. So one color that I know that may be good, but I stay away from. I don't know why I stay away from. Well, I kind of know why. Like I don't use green in my background at all. All right, and of course, they in the video backgrounds and videos, of course, green screen is really popular. So if you have any green, it does help if you want to use a virtual background. Like if I wanted to change where I am, if I had green going, it'll allow that background to disappear a little better.
No.
Hmm.
So you're on point with your example of color theory. And I wanted to ask this because I am a big fan of people using their brand colors. I'm
Right.
a big fan of people using their brand colors, but sometimes, like Elle says, you just got to go with what is natural and what works. So I wanted to ask you, DJ Strick. I've tried this with Elle, and Elle did not play well. But I think you might be able to do it. Um, what is your favorite color?
Oh, so I have favorite colors, but if there's one color that stands out from the rest, it is definitely red. I am a
Okay.
red guy.
Okay. What color do you wear mostly? Like if you open your closet and you see what color stands out the most.
That is easy as well. Black. So black everything. Shoes, pants, shirts. I have tons of black. Tons of black.
Okay. So in color theory, black is actually your favorite color. It is the color of
Okay.
power. You don't mind having it. You don't mind willing it. You don't mind other people knowing that you have it. Red,
Well, there you go.
color of love. It can be anger. It can be stop. People have preconceived notions of what the colors mean. So love is or red is trying something that you're trying to aspire to. Do you believe that?
I do believe it, but I also believe for me personally, there's a couple of things, reasons why I like these colors, and then I'll let you get back to the theory. So, based on my skin tone, red looks really good with my skin tone. That's so my wife always tells me, "I like that red on you," that kind of thing. And then when I was a kid, the high school I went to, their colors was red, black, and white and gray. So alternatively, now my colors are red, black, white, and gray. Those are the ones that I like. That color palette is what I like more than anything else. But I grew up in that. But again, even as a kid, red was my number one color.
All right.
But I
So
wear a lot of black, so you can. I agree with you. Black is probably it too. So they're right up there.
yeah, I tried this
Black
with
is
L, but
dark
L,
gray.
Say that again.
yeah,
Black is dark gray.
Black is dark gray. Well, sometimes black can be dark gray, depending on how
Yeah,
many
that's
times
what
you
I
wash
said.
it.
It's like, yeah, it's right in your wheelhouse.
It is in my warehouse. It is in my warehouse. You're right. You are so right with that.
the I got this from my ad design class. We were doing package designs, and the things we had to do, we had to be aware of the preconceived notions of what other people think colors mean. So it's a way you dress yourself, and it's how you use your backgrounds. It's your brand colors. It's everything that people will associate with you. So, and that's why I asked about your backgrounds. I like that dark blue you have, DJ Strick, and I love those pink. For me, they're pink roses. L.
Oh, well, thank you. They are. It's so funny. This okay. So I when I'm doing like we're in the process of launching, right? So this whole background is like a work in progress, right? So I actually made each one of these individual flowers, and they're actually gold. They are.
Oh,
I took some. I didn't tell my secrets, but I took
Tell
some
them I'm
coffee.
writing them down right now.
I took some coffee filters and I soaked them and get them wet. Then I took some gold paint and put it in the water so that they would take up the gold paint, and then they look kind of like new, like natural, like a natural color in the camera, but in person they are actually gold and like not sparkly but iridescent.
That's
So
cool.
thank you. So I'm trying to decide on how this all is going to look, and the reason why I made it this color is because I can put a key light behind me, and it'll change the color, so it'll be naturally whatever it wants. Well, however we want to do it. Because like with you setting up for different studios and stuff, it would make me crazy. So I have a personal brand that we're working on, and we have the new brand Lux Maverick, which we're working on. So the mirror in the back was on this wall before I put this flowers around it. So I'm not taking it. I didn't take it down. I was trying to figure out because I mean that mirror is really heavy, so they put this heavy duty thingy in there to hold it up there. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to have somebody come take it down, fix the hole, put it back. but that's the thing with backgrounds, right? Backgrounds are always a work in progress.
That's true.
And so yeah, so even like you can see the wall, wait, so you can see the wall here and you can see the wall there. I didn't want that to be that way, but to me it kind of looks cool now. It kind of looks like a almost, think of like a brick wall, and then it's kind of
Hmm.
like partially done, partially not. But later, once everything gets done, depending on what we decide our final look is going to be. So that's why, I'm always like, well, this is going to be fine, that's going to be fine. Because sometimes when I'm on camera, you can see more of the mirror this way, so you can see my screen. People like seeing themselves in the mirror, which is why I didn't take it down at first. But I don't know how it's going to turn out. But you got to think, whenever you are creating a background or planning on using a virtual background, you got to know a lot of things. So if this background was virtual, I could move around like I'm moving like this because it would look crazy with that little halo, which I hate. I hate that thing. So then, but then you see like Erica sees like her part of her's
Okay.
missing, coming, and all that. So then you have the situation. So that's why I wanted the actual background, because I must be Italian, like in somewhere in my head, because I talk with my hands all the time and I
I'm
can't
with
never
you.
be still. Yeah. So and then also when you take your content, this is a really really big point about backgrounds. When you're going to repurpose your content, which Erica is the queen of, repurposing your content requires you to be aware of what your next steps are going to be with your content. So if you're going to have, like, if say I'm going to make this an interactive video, so I'm like, would you like this option or this option, right? So see how too far my hands out too far, so then you got to know. And so that when you put your buttons up, that people can pick the button to continue the story.
Okay.
So essentially, that's how you want it to be. But you always have to remember that, yes, right now, this is for this purpose, but in a little bit, it's going to be something else. And is your background going to work everywhere? So that's why I opted not for actual, like, virtual backgrounds for our studio. But for our clients, we do all kind of stuff, and a lot of times they don't plan to repurpose their content until they had a conversation with me about what you're going to do with this after. So I think that's really important to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely. I have content if you're not gonna reuse it or at least post it 4 times a day, in my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm trying. I'm just at one time a day, Eric. I'm working on it.
Well, we got OneStream. Set up that schedule. Let it loop throughout the day. Let it delete itself if you want it to, or just let it stay there.
You are
But
so
I'm
right.
bad about doing it for myself also, but I will definitely do it for other people.
oh yeah. I mean, that's really one of the things that me and Erica have been working on, is like how to utilize OneStream in a way that is optimally effective, right? So we did when we did a what was it called, Master Your
Recovery
Recovery
virtual
Virtual
from
Summit Series. And so we did that. And so what we did was, once we recorded it, we let it run and run and run and run and run. And we got so many comments and so much good feedback. And it was able to, the questions that people came up with were things that we never would have come up with. And be to understand that based on the algorithms, only a small portion of the people are ever going to see your videos anyway.
That's
So by
right.
optimizing the ability of the content to replay and replay and replay, you see more people get to see it. And then you also have an opportunity to really have a higher interaction with your content. And then and then you also get the data, right? So you get the analytics. So for me, that's everything. Analytics is everything. So you get to see, like, you get to see like who, what, when, where, and why. And so when you do your next event, okay, so the best, the most, the highest amount of people actually got to see it when we ran it at 10 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon instead of 1, and then 5 or 7 or 9 or whatever at night. So now you're like, okay, so now you're getting your rhythm for for how the um, algorithm is interacting with your content. So I mean, that's the thing about algorithms, right? Algorithms are constantly changing, and they're
Right.
based on what you are doing a lot of times, and you can kind of move it around. So
It's a great idea, a great way to repurpose. Now, do you think that that is the same, saying that you were using it for a conference or for a seminar? Is that the same for just regular content that you may be creating?
absolutely, absolutely, because what you're doing is you are taking you're giving more of your audience an opportunity to see your content, and whatever it is, it doesn't have to be, I mean, even if it's just you saying hi, right? And
Right.
so more people are going to see it. You're going to get to start a dialogue, right? Because that's the whole point of creating the content, right? So you can
Right.
start some kind of interaction. And then once you're doing all that, you are going to be able to grow your audience, because that's the whole point of making the content, right? And you're also going to be able to um, like I said, get that in the analytics, right? The analytics are going to allow you to take that one piece of data, one piece of content, and say it was a large piece of content. You can break it up into many, many small pieces, and then
Right.
try several different. Like you can do post one every hour and see which one of them is going to give you the best return.
I like that. I like that. And it
Thank you.
definitely pushes the envelope of repurposing. And
Mhm,
also, I tell people all the time, like if you have an audience, and whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, like it goes in waves.
mhm,
Because when you first start, you have a lot of friends and family that click and say, I want to follow you, I'm supporting your page, and I'll be a subscriber, all of that. But most
mhm.
times, your content is not for your friends and family. So what
Absolutely.
happens is you look like you're on an uptick with subscribers and friends and followers until you start making content that's based on the audience that you have that's not what is following you right now. So you start losing people until you get to that point to where the algorithm picks you up and then you start growing again, but it's with the right type of audience. So people are like, why am I going up and down? Listen, if you're doing that, you're in the right place. Just be
Yeah.
patient, continue to make the content. The algorithm, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, they'll find you and they'll push you out. Now with
Mhm.
TikTok, you should always be growing because they will push you to be seen by a little bit of everybody. But while we're doing that, Erica is doing a good job of turning these slides around and moving around and
Mhm.
having these backgrounds. It's really cool.
Yeah. I love. I
I
think that
like
this
the
is a great
background.
platform. Hmm.
I guess they're when I put pictures on top of pictures, they would turn into borders, but they're labeled as backgrounds. And I love that I can put these overlays on top of them just in case I cover up my background logos or border logos.
I want to see. Yesterday, I tried doing the backgrounds, but I'm gonna see if I could turn the lights back here, maybe green, and see how that
Okay.
will affect my virtual background. If it will look better with me, because my camera is already giving me that bokeh that I want, and sometimes
Hmm.
that does affect how the background looks and how I look on camera as well. But let's see if I can make it work.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed that the blue doesn't work too well for us because my wall is blue and your lights are blue. I like that green.
Yeah, let's see if it will, what we can do here. This is using, because I'm coming in as a guest and I have effects
Oh
that
wow.
I could use. Um, I think I do. Where's that at? There we go.
Yeah. We're in the
Kind of
same
makes
place
me
now.
grainy. Huh? Say that again?
We're in the same place now.
Right. Let me see if I can go live with this. Oh, hit
Oh,
close.
rainy.
It is really grainy.
I
Uh-huh.
wonder why that
But it's
is.
kind of cool. It's kind of cool. You look kind of sparkly.
Listen, I am absolutely not going for the sparkly look.
I don't know
I
if y'all
like that
figured it
we
out
can
yet.
have our own backgrounds along with another background or else on top of another background. I wish I could add my own backgrounds into this background behind me.
I don't know how to do that, y'all. I want to go where y'all at.
So
So
it
there's
is.
a logo that for me it looks like the Steelers logo, and you click that and it says apply visual effects. So imagine if you're doing an event and you want everyone to have like the same background to be cohesive or show support for an event host, and everybody has
Mhm.
the same background. Not only just what I'm calling a border right now, but everybody in the personal window would have that same background. L, you still can't find it?
I think I see people. I think I see it.
So
Do I
it'll be
got it?
the.
Hooray!
Oh wait, I apply it. Hold on. Okay, that's so weird. I'm looking at myself looking weird. Oh, there it is. It's doing it.
Yep.
It's doing it. Oh gosh, that's look crazy. See my mirror. My mirror still shows.
Wow. That's a cool look, by the way.
Ooh, that
Sometimes
halo.
what we think, like based on our design, didn't work. Like there could be easily applications for that.
Hmm.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
I like that outer glow we all have, but maybe if I chose a lighter one, what I'm calling a border would work well with us. Something white, so it'll match. I'm just throwing that out there.
So what if you? I want to see this one. This background. These things. It just. Oh y'all. This just makes me so. It just makes me crazy. See that little like that. Like every time you see the little light, every time I move, it's like it make me feel like I'm not real.
So there's
I don't like.
definitely applications for this, and I think
Uh-huh.
Erica has the best application. If someone has their studio that's set up and they don't have the depth, she's basically on a wall right behind her.
Hmm.
Um, Now, this particular system with these backgrounds, it doesn't matter whether it's a green screen or not. Erica, I think it would be even better if the wall was black. So if you had so you wouldn't have that border around you. Like what you would see would be the black, and it's kind of like when I turn my lights out. Instead of having green in my background, now it's a little darker. Let me show you what happens if I turn the lights back on and they're green. See how that green glows around me now?
Yeah.
And if I turn that off, now you don't see it. Now, of course, I still have white light, and it is my camera, guys, that's giving me this the I guess I don't know what kind of look you would call this, but because my camera is already having a particular effect on it,
Hmm.
is not being picked up like a flat picture. So webcams would be really good for this. Um, eh, this Sony here is just so very sharp, and with the bokeh and everything, it's just not working well. And it's designed that way because I have a natural background that I want to be seen, and not this. So I could easily set up the camera to where it is. Um, so it's set up to where it doesn't have so much bokeh, so it's all in focus, and it will work better with the backgrounds if I had it that way.
I
There's like
agree.
a small echo coming from you, DJ Strick. I'm not sure if you noticed that,
I haven't.
but I think it just started. Did it just start, L?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, it might just be me. Oh, so I wanted to say that since you guys had the natural background, do you make these what I'm calling borders match your natural background, or do you just go with brand colors?
For
I,
me, with I was gonna say for me with what I got going on right now, branding is everything because it's new. So I think that it's gonna really depend, right, on what you're doing and what your point of again the purpose of your of your stream, right? What is the purpose of your stream? So I think that would be a variety of answers for me.
and I
So
agree. You want to have a, I would say, rhyme for a reason. The reason why you're doing something, you want to be focused. Everything that you have inside of your shot, you should have a reason for that. Okay,
Hmm.
so I have everything you see on the back wall that actually means something, even if it does mean I'm showing off because my wife have billboard number ones. You know what I'm saying? Or plaques or cameras are back there, coffee mugs with logos from companies that have supported back there. All that thing and I'm a mic guy, so I have the mics in the background. So all those things are there for a particular reason, and you're not actually seeing the rest of the table where all the junk is.
Understood.
Right.
Yeah, I like that you're a fan of your wife. I like that you're wearing her T-shirt right now.
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Like,
am. She's doing really well. She's doing really well. So I like to
Okay,
push
so
it.
who is your wife?
So
Tell
my
about it
wife is
now.
jazz flutist Kim Scott. So in the smooth jazz world, she is doing very well. So she last week we had the number 2 song on Billboard, and she actually have 3 Billboard number ones. And on the weekends we travel, and she just came from Virginia doing Tin Pan in Richmond. So she's very sought after as a jazz flutist, and I'm super proud of her.
it's
Oh,
great.
that's awesome.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to shout out Fizza and Margaret Dunbar for watching with us today. And they all
That's
say
what's
hello.
up. Good morning or good afternoon.
Yeah,
So,
depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, that's what I like about live streaming. It doesn't matter what time you're live streaming. It's always more another time somewhere else. And if they missed you live, they can always catch it later.
That's true.
mhm, absolutely. And
So
you can chop it up and repurpose it.
yes. So I was with Elle last night and we set up some things. So I am going to well, if I take myself off, I am going to show what we built last night as far as banners and show some of the things that we can do in OneStream. So I am going to take these overlays off and turn on the ones we did just for Ale. Ale runs a company called Lux Maverick. So we have her logo black and white. Her brand colors are green and gold. We could have did it that way. Also, let me take this background off and make it black so it will show up a little more with the white. Yep, it's asking me to add another one. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, so you can see it clearly in the white with the black. And if I turn on, I don't have a white background, but I did bring in a background just for her that she has on one of her book covers. I think she's the author of is it 3 books now, Al, or is it 4?
I, I think it's 3, might be 4. I don't know. I ain't
If
keep
someone
up.
can't keep up. Yeah.
No, it's not so
Okay.
it's just, I just do it so it's done. It's not, I don't know. People, I don't know. I'm not into that accolades and all that kind of stuff like this. I did it. It's done. It was for somebody. They got it. That's it.
That's awesome.
Understood. So
On to the next. I get it. I love that.
yeah, Uh,
No
I'm gonna
laurels.
turn
No
this.
laurels. Sorry, Ashley.
I'm gonna turn myself on so you can see more of the background that Elle has made. And I like that if you're working with someone, if you're doing remote live producing for someone, that you can add all the stuff in and have it for them for when they come.
Yeah. So basically, what this background is um, okay, so I guess what Lux Maverick does, I guess that some people ask that question. What we do is we help professional athletes to recover from old injuries that have been keeping them from being able to perform at their elite level 75 to 90% faster than they used to. So, your wife, say for example, as a flautist, if she hurt her finger, it would take her out the game for a while, like or she
Right.
hurt her jaw or something, she wouldn't be able to work. So essentially what happens is, you go to the doctor, and if you have a sprain, say she sprained her finger, God forbid, right? She sprained her finger. That would be an issue. So when you are going to the doctor, they only use the rice method, which is, you have to rest it, ice it, compress it, elevate it, that kind of thing,
Okay.
because that's the standard, right? But in 2015, they that was debunked because icing an injury could make it actually take longer to heal, and it may actually increase it to never be able to fully heal, which is because the only thing that can heal your body is blood. So if you slow down the blood's not healing is a problem. So what I did was create a way to help people to recover 75 to 90% faster. So because we don't use ice, we use
Okay.
microcurrent. So now players specifically are able to, instead of being on the injured reserve list for 3 weeks to several months, they can be recovered like in a week or a few days, depending on what's going on. So we're actually going to be telling the world about this tomorrow, which is
That's
what you at
awesome.
the bottom. Yeah, because I mean, for the past 44 years, it's crazy because, and this is going to sound so insane, but the reason why we ice injuries is because some little boy got his arm cut off by a train, and they put his arm in ice so that they were able to successfully reattach the arm. Well, they reattach the arm, so then when Dr. Merkin wrote the sports medicine book, he said ice, rest, ice, all that. So now in that span of time, it's just become the thing in the, like, the
The
public
standard.
thing, right? Yeah, and then so now that they've changed it, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to realize that, 2015 to 2022 is 7 years, and it's still sitting there. And I think
Is
it's
it
because they didn't
patent?
have,
Do you have a
huh?
patent for this and all of that?
Well, I have a patent for my process, but microcurrent is like a standard thing. It's been out since 1749, so it's a thing that exists. It's just it's never been used to make people heal faster in a significant way. Um, if you go and look up microcurrent, for example, it does all kinds of things, but because all cells can use the microcurrent, the
Okay.
healthier cells are going to grab it first because the injured cells are slower, right?
Right.
So what I do is I focus and target it on the injured cells so that they can reproduce and rejuvenate the tissue that's damaged faster. And then we make everybody happy together afterwards. So, that kind of thing.
Wow. Erica, we're talking to a multimillionaire idea. Like, this is awesome. Like, I was in sports for a long time, and the reason why we ice is to reduce swelling. So now, if you're telling me there's another way to recover faster than normal, like if a 6 weeks injury could be down to a week, technology has definitely gone into sports, in the sports arena. Like, now they're using robots in practices. Okay. So
Hmm.
I know we're talking about backgrounds, but man, that's so intriguing. Like, Erica, like you're bringing people to the table that have some incredible ideas and working on some incredible things. I think that is so cool.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. We just did that background last night. It took about what was it? 30 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. Well, 20 minutes because we was talking.
Yeah. Well, she already had her graphics done, so all I did was plug it into OneStream. Fizza says that a green screen is best. I have a green screen. I actually hate it because it moves. I love my wall because it doesn't move. And I think
Yeah, I'm
for
supposed.
me, it works a little best. You know how you guys were talking about that outline? For me, the wall cuts that down because I'm kind of close to my wall. So I can touch it. That's how close I am.
Right.
Yeah. What I think, what I'm just going to try something. I'm supposed to be getting one of those things that go in your chair. I always say, I say they're little because my daughter does all those things with her friends. That little, if you are a gamer. You know,
Right.
you always have the gamer sitting down in the corner and they don't have a background. They look like they're floating. And so, so I'm supposed to get one. So we're gonna try one of those little chair green screens. And then because when I noticed, because I couldn't understand how they were able to have no background at all and have no fuzzy, right? So Fizza might be right about that part, but it's supposed to attach to your chair so when you move, it don't move. I mean, it moves with you, right? And then I'm gonna get another sound. So I'm gonna get a sound box. You know that little. I want one. I wanted one. I just want one of those because I think that looks so cool. I don't have a good voice like DJ Strict.
A sound box. Tell me you think. What is that?
It's okay. So it's like you know how you had the padded wall.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's a little box. It's like about like this tall, and
You could put
and
your
it's like
microphone in.
yes, that's what I was
I,
gonna
I
say.
want to call it like they have it in a ball as well, like cue ball or K ball or something like that. I'm familiar with that. I actually have one of those.
Really,
And it
I
does
want to have.
help with the, what do you say, reverb, or if you don't have a treated room, you can actually talk to it. But depending on where you have your microphone, that could be really big on screen.
I just want to try
Okay,
it.
no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great try. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for
I
an
just want to
untreated
have like
room,
a really. I want to have like a. I want to have like a. I think my voice is too high, for camera. I want to have like a sultry, sexy voice. I wish I used to
oh
smoke or something.
my.
So I could be like that. I want to have
No.
one of those kind of voices. But because I just think that I don't know. I just want to have I just want a more whole tone to my voice. I think that it just um, sound just like your visuals are going to affect how people receive you or perceive
It
you.
will. It will.
Yeah.
But
So I just
when you talk about sound, it is making sure the sound is clear and
hmm
audible, that it doesn't. So, like with all of us, our ears don't like stress. Okay, you can actually get tired trying to listen to someone that has bad audio. It's like your eyes didn't like to see things that are not the right color pattern. Right. So we
hmm
talked about backgrounds. You got to have the right color pattern because if you don't, people get tired. I don't want to see that. My eyes are hurting. You can
hmm
actually hurt people's ears because they're trying to strain and listen. And the ears and the mind says, we're done with this. Let's get out of here. Let's go to the next thing. But I do want to say this with if you have good, clear sound, your voice is like a fingerprint. The uniqueness of your sound makes you you. The content that you bring. Like if you start talking about this, and I'm in the sports world at all, sports therapy, if I'm in sports management, if I'm in sports administration, I want to hear everything you got to say. And the one thing I'm not listening to is the pitch of your voice. I'm listening to the content. All right.
Okay.
Because right now, what you're saying could revolutionize sports, period. If you're reducing
hmm
recovery time in sports, we're really big in American football, but soccer or international football is really huge. And to get those players back on the field in a short amount of time is a big deal. So I said that to say you do have a very nice voice. And making sure the content is there is way more important than having a sultry sound, because that could be really contrary to the content that you're giving out. If I listen to you and you have a sultry sound and I'm trying to get business tips, you could be sending the wrong emotion.
But right, but I'm not saying like sultry, like sexy. I'm talking about like a whole sound. Like I just want it to be, like how when you listen to like an audiobook, it sounds really clean and clear. That's what I
I got
mean.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
because I
mic
want it to be a
placement and
whole sound.
microphone is going to be the difference. You're right. Getting the right
Okay.
microphone, placing it in the right place for your voice is important. What kind of mic are you using now?
I don't know. uh,
It's like, let me check
I
the
don't
label.
know. Sterling. It's a Sterling. Sterling something. It came with my Rodecaster Pro thing.
I got you. I
See,
got you.
we
So
used to have. See, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we used to have a whole. I used to have a whole studio setup thing in our office before COVID. right? So this is like my home studio stuff. And so I just took some of the pieces of what we had that I could actually work myself, and I put it together.
I got you. I got you. And it sounds
So
great. I want to say it from my standpoint, you sound great. If you
thanks.
want to take it to the next level, I would recommend the MV7 USB mic with interface from Shure, because you can actually go into the settings of that Shure mic through their app and dial it in for your voice. And
Okay, so what is it again? I
so
wasn't ready.
MV7 for Shure.
N7.
And I'm
Okay.
sorry, we're talking about backgrounds today, but
Well,
if
this
you're
all this is
watching this,
all part of
there's
it.
content all over the place that you can grab because Erica is showing you what you can do with the backgrounds. She's changing backgrounds, and we're talking about content, and everybody could learn something today.
Yes, but it's
Well,
all relevant, right? It's
It
all
is
relevant.
relevant.
You have to
yeah,
have your background is what your content sits on, and your content is your video as well as your audio, and you can have a really great background and have crap, right? So it's very valuable that you have excellent content, and it's also very valuable to have awesome audio on your background.
I guess
I
it
agree
depends on how you want
100%.
to learn. I want to throw this out there. I think I found a background that just works with all of our skin tones because I think this looks best. You can tell me your opinion, but this is my personal opinion that this background, it does has nothing to do with brand colors, but it has all the things to do with matching with our skin tones. Just a
I
little bit.
like it.
This is my personal opinion.
I like
Of
it.
course,
It's in
you
the
mix
red
it like
family, so
because
I'm
it's close to
good.
red. Yes, I was about to say. Exactly. I love all colors. I mean, mostly all the colors, so it's totally fine with me. I don't know. I like texture, right? So for me, I like the lines on it. But I would like to have like some more depth, right? I like the
Some
ombre
gradient
effect.
on there.
Yeah, it's a little bit. That's what I was going to say. A little bit of gradient. So I definitely would love to have like way more. I like dimension. I
So
think it keeps your eye busy.
right, it gives you something else, keeps you busy. There is another background there that is red that does have like the circles on it, Erica, that I've used from time to time inside of OneStream Studio that I thought was pretty cool. And only there you
Yes,
go. And
that's
it kind of
cool.
gives that gradient and some depth with those circle lines.
Yes, I like that. I'm always looking for like because Eric and I both are graphic artists, so I'm always looking for something that's gonna give. You know how when you get like when you watch a 3D movie, 3D movies used to be things popping out at you.
Right.
Now 3D movies are how deep it looks, inside of the video. So I like that kind of effect. What I would like to see on here are borders, because then if there was a border around each video tile, it would make it more seem more cohesive as a piece of content.
That'll add additional depth as well.
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of backgrounds Elle has designed in what's it called? Air Meet. And I just thought she was really good at math because she creates those borders with the what are they called? Logos at the top, logos at the bottom. Like if she knew that we were going to use primarily this two on top and one at the bottom, she would have her logos fit in these spaces at the bottom on the left and right.
That's
So
cool.
I just assumed she was good at math and she liked math that much to she was willing to put in the effort to show it. I know logo placement is a good sponsor pricing point. I know the brand colors are good pricing points. The same thing with showing your overlays for the what's that thing called where we had at the bottom with the Lux
Ticker.
Maverick.
Ticker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's the
Oh,
banner.
lower third. Lower third. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to figure out
And
what it was called in OneStream, but it's in overlays and
um,
it's under banner.
yeah.
I
So
thought that was neat. Mm.
I am good at math, by the way. But to me, it's all about, we were talking about this last night. How no matter what you plan, no matter what you think, you have to practice. You have to look at it. You got to really dial into what you're doing and knowing what you're going to be doing when you're doing it, what you're going to do after, all those kind of things. Because there's so many pieces of data and so many ways to use it. If because I'm also a video editor, blah blah blah, whatever, I can crop out each one of us and put us on a whole different background and make it look a whole different way, and do transitions and make it all cool, and we could spin
It sounds
around
like
each
work,
other, all
Gail.
kind of stuff. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind getting it in. So, but that's, but to me, it's like, what's the point? Like, why would you? Whenever you're going to create something, there needs to be a purpose, right? So, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? I say that all the time. So, even like with the treatment that I created, I wouldn't have created it if there was a need, because to me, it's wasteful. So, whenever you're going to create content, whenever you're going to create backgrounds, whatever it is, you need to know what you're going to do with it while you're creating it, what you're going to do with it after, and if there are other uses that you can do with it. No, so like, can we, like, could you crop this and just like this, like, take this video with all three of us, right, and then put it on a post, or put it on your website and say, these, every time you do a show, you say these are the, like a whole list of, because you've done a lot of shows, girl. So
Yes, she
uh,
has.
so you could take a screenshot, right, of each one and make them turn it into a thumbnail, and then just make a blog post by taking the script, right, the transcript or part of the transcript, and put it out there. And so now you have you can make like the biggest blog in the world just based off of one little screenshot plus a partial script transcript. It doesn't even have to be a lot, right? Like 200 words from a transcript, and then that's it. And then people who like to read are gonna constantly be looking for you, looking for you. And there's just different ways to do it. So having multiple skill sets and multiple tools that you use for like, so what we did with the banners and the logos and all that for the show itself, always making sure you got your screenshot, like, so whenever we do something, everybody who's like, how Zoom is, so whenever you have everybody together, you have everybody on screen, everybody, cameras in focus, everything, and then everybody has their name on the screen, all that, right? So everything's set up. And you're like, at some point in your show, you're going to say, okay, so we're going to take our group picture, right? So then everybody has whatever pose they're going to have. And you're like, okay, we got a screenshot, and you'll have people with the eyes closed, all that kind of stuff. And then that becomes your promotion for your next event, because you're like, all these people came, look how many cool people were here. And then you can point out certain people that you want to highlight if you want to. And then for your next event, you're going to have more people who want to come because it looks like everybody's having a great time, right? So in this all, again, it's that psychological marketing thing that you need to be aware of
Fear of
when you're
missing
creating.
out.
Huh?
Fear of missing out.
Well, yeah, but also it's advertising, it's marketing. It's like you're
It's marketing.
enticing people to want to take part in what you're doing, right? So all these awesome people came to an event. There must be something there. So people like to follow other people, like to do what other people are doing. So you are making something that was private public so that other people can now follow.
Uh,
I like it. I think that's a great idea. It really is, and it makes sense.
Thanks.
I was telling DJ Strick last night on his show, Streamers Hub, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, that you could use this OneStream Studio for events. And
Hmm.
I think this would be, especially with the backgrounds, the overlays, all these would be great selling points for sponsors. Yeah.
I agree. How
So,
Just
many
my
so the
two
show
cents.
would be the title of the show would be how to use your background and overlays to monetize your content.
Yeah.
Or let's make it shorter to get paid as a content creator. It's like, hey, if you're building content, you can throw up a logo, work with brands. Who knows your own private content? And you say, hey, I'm going to throw your logo up in the corner, and this is how much it costs. If you have an audience, all those things are monetizable.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
Mel already had her logo made, designed. All she did was give it to me, and I put it in OneStream. That was
Right.
it. We had a little trouble with the banner, this right here, but other than that, making the size, I think what you had to do, El, you put it in a circle, right? And it just fits.
No, what? Okay, so you had to have enough. Whenever you're going to put your logo in this circle here, the circle is automatic. You have to have enough border space around your logo so that it fits once the system squeezes it puts it in there. Because if you take up the whole space on your background, how do I explain that? So okay, so if you have a 500 by 500, right? So if you because the logo is square, it could take up the whole 500 by 500. But because it has to be put into the circle, it'll cut off the ends. So you have to make enough border around your logo so that it fits inside of the 500 by 500. So once the circle's cut out, your whole logo is still sitting in the center. That's what you have to do.
I think it's asking for was it 1080 by 1920 or 1920 by 1080?
1920 by 1080.
Yeah.
That's HD. And it was funny because it asked for that. But what was weird was it. I think that when you are had we not had the um, training, like previous training, we wouldn't have been able to figure it out. This is where the skill set that your producers have. This is why you want to hire somebody who you don't want. I don't know who all the people who watch this, but if you are not a professional producer, and you're wanting to produce an event, right? It's better to work with somebody in the beginning that is aware, right, and skilled in using platforms, because your logo, you're going to look less professional if you put your if my logo was cut off like that. It would look terrible, right? It would just look awful, and then it takes down your credibility, right?
That's
So
so true.
yeah, so that's why you want to you to me, having somebody who knows what they're doing is way better than just trying to wing it on your own. And I know that you have time or money, right, to do things, but it's always better when you're going to use a platform to at least one time hire somebody to walk you through it so that you can do it as professionally as possible, because you will hurt your brand by putting out bad content or
Can I add to that a little bit? Because I teach people how to use video, how to use stream, how to do cameras, all of that, all the time. And sometimes you can teach them the steps, but it's not just the steps. It's sometimes when things go bad, how do you troubleshoot out of it? And that's where the professionals come in. Guess what? I've seen it before. I've done it before. Okay, this is not fitting. Let me do A, B, C, D and see if that works. And a professional can work through those troubleshooting things because they've experienced it before a whole lot quicker than someone, oh, I don't know what to do. And the alternative to I don't know what to do usually is to stop or to throw something up that's not as eye catching or is half done. And when you're half done with your graphics, just like you're saying, you lose a little credibility.
yeah.
Like I said, I learned how to use the OneStream Studio from watching your show. Yay, thank you. I do appreciate that.
Because I made
Um,
all the mistakes for everybody.
when you did your show, I did my graphics. I put my graphics on the platform. So mine's all said and done. And I invited Elle to come hang out, and I wanted her graphics to be on the show. And it took 30 minutes because I couldn't remember, because I did it when you told me to do it.
Got you.
And I was like, good thing Elle is also a graphic designer and very good at math, because I couldn't figure out how come the measurements it told me to use wasn't working.
Right. Hey, we really need to write those things down because they don't have them right now. So we write them down. Hey, these are the dimensions and how you can do it, and maybe get it to the team as a blog. That could really help.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been looking for more blog writers, and I do enjoy their blog. So snippets of this conversation would make a good blog post, like Elle was saying. You got to repurpose this content.
You really do.
Mm-hmm. It's really
Well,
important.
do you guys have any takeaways about backgrounds or using the OneStream Live Studio?
So my one takeaway is something that I have a green screen in my studio. I need to put it up so I can test these backgrounds and make it look a whole lot better than I have in this setting. I'm so used to, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of money in my studio, but to at least test it and to be able to show it to people, I probably throw up the green screen, flatten my camera out just a little bit, and to allow it to show the virtual backgrounds a little better than I displayed it today,
No, I
just as a
like it.
tutorial.
Yeah,
I
that
got a
would be
bunch of
really good.
I had a bunch of questions. So that's my first question is how many people can fit on the screen?
10.
10.
Okay.
Jinx.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so you get 10 people on your so if you have an event because you're streaming it everywhere and you have all 10 people, at least inviting 10 people to watch. That would be a really good show.
So we actually tested the system the first day they released the beta of Studio. And you're able to have 14 people in the queue and 10 people on the screen at one time. So I could have four other people waiting to come on while I have 10 people like live on the screen. Now, I will tell you this, if you don't do it right, 10 people on the screen could be chaos. So you want to be sure you do it the right way and that you're very you're a good host so that you can bring people up into the center. So you're constantly moving whoever the talking person is. You have to do that by hand. Um, Moving that person into the larger screen like I am now. But I thought it was great. It was excellent. And it could provide a ton of engagement because if you got people and they all have some level of influence online and bring their audience to your show, you're winning.
Yes. And especially if they have cross purpose. Now that would be fabulous.
Even better, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just figured out that this arrow lets me move people to the bigger part, and yeah, I didn't know it until later in the show, but I'm getting there. So the more I purposely use it live, and I should be because this would be a great selling tool, and especially when that live selling comes out. Yeah, I'm gonna love this. I see so many selling points to in the studio that I actually need to use it for myself.
Well, there you go.
So, and
Oh
since
yeah.
Physics says to use a green screen, and like you said, I should test stuff, I should actually probably put my green screen back up and see if it's any different than my wall. That's my takeaway.
That's good. The trick to the green screen is making sure you're lighting it the proper way. So it needs light as well.
I
I
think I
get
need
fucked up by producers. They're like, no green screen. I'm like, we're gonna try it. Y'all not
So
over here shooting.
So the green screen works when it's done properly. So let me give just one tip. If you have a green screen and you're putting it up behind you, make sure that there's no shadows on it. So if you are in front of the green screen and the light is coming to you and then there's a shadow on the green screen, guess what? Is not uniform green. So there's a darker green and there's a shadow. That's not what you want. You want to be sure that that green screen is one color all the way through, and if it's one color all the way through, it helps the system see the green and pull it out so you can put something in front of it. So most producers or video guys don't like it because you have to do it the right way. If you mess it up, it can look bad with the halo effect and all of that. But if you do it right, it can look really good.
So what can you put? Can you put like the what is that? The key light or the backlight, whatever that light is, in the behind you.
Mhm.
So would that
So
work?
It could work. You just want to be sure that it's uniform. So,
Okay.
to be honest with you, it could be 2 lights, it could be 3 lights, it could be 4 lights, but just make sure that however my key light is coming this way, that is my actual light. I need to have another light behind me on the green screen, making sure that
Hmm.
there's not a shadow that's being made from my key light.
Yeah. Okay. That's what
All
I was
right.
thinking.
So
Okay. Got you.
yeah, so to be honest with you, I have so many lights in here, it's ridiculous. You're only seeing a couple of them. So I have a key light, I have a field light coming in this way, I have a hair light that's up out of the screen, and then there's a light that's right behind me. You can barely see it, that's hitting the wall, and that's giving me that what I call a halo effect around me, that I use as just another way to get depth from my background.
If you got a
Mhm.
kit.co with your for lights, we need a link.
I got you. I don't. Working on it.
Okay.
Working on it. Working on it.
All right.
The whole
Well,
the
it
whole setup. I'm working on my whole studio setup, like my recommendation. So it'll be like a DJ Strict Kit that code, so everybody will know what I'm using, and affiliate links work, right?
yes, it works when we use them. So if you have them, you got to put them out.
That's right.
All right, you guys. DJ Strick, L Kersey, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate you sharing your time and knowledge because that was great. I'm sure that when we get the recording of this, you can use it for other things. Please repurpose your content. If not, you're going to hear from me saying, please repurpose your content.
Well, thank you for
Okay.
the invite. I
All
loved it.
right.
Thank you.
You guys are welcome to hang out with me anytime. So thank you guys again. And I will
Thanks
say,
for having us. I always love hanging out with Erica Bates. That's all I can tell you.
I love that.
It was
All
nice
right.
meeting
It was
you,
nice.
Miss Kirsty, and all the luck to you on your great idea. When it
Thanks.
comes out, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I had a chance to be on this young lady's show. I know her."
We're actually gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna
Mhm.
do a live about it, so you'll get to hear more because it actually even fixes old injuries. So that's the cool thing. So for me, I thought it was when I realized that it worked this way, right? So you know how everything is already exists. You just have to be able to pluck it from the ether, right? So
Right,
what I figured out was old injuries are the things that keep players from that makes them become less elite. It's not necessarily the things that happen to them every day.
right,
So if you have an old shoulder injury, it's going to make you less. You are constantly compensating, trying to. So if you're a quarterback, you keep missing your target because your shoulder doesn't move like it's supposed to. Your brain
right.
doesn't know your shoulder's not moving like it's supposed to, but I can actually go in and get rid of all that old scar tissue and all that ancient inflammation and restore your range of motion
Wow.
and all that and get rid
Call
of any
Cam
collateral
Newton
damage.
right now. Cam needs it bad.
Well, I would
Say,
love to.
call
I
him right
would.
now.
Hey, I can have him straight. I mean, when I was watching his film, because well, one of the parts of the things that we had to do, because I'm not okay. Don't tell nobody, but I'm not into sports, right?
Oh my God.
I'm not. I mean, I'm. My thing is people. Like, if there's a person who needs me, I'm there, right? So, but they were showing me like his film, and so of course they're like, so what would we do for him? And so we were gonna. I think that's one of the things we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about individual people because Tiger Woods. That man needs to see me so bad. I'm like because all his old stuff, all his old injuries, and he's been playing forever. So
Right,
just life and everything. So he has a plethora of old injuries that's keeping him from just being his elite self. But he's more elite than most people. So we go back and fix all those old things, and especially when he got his leg broken and was all jammed up, was terrible. But we can fix it because the scar tissue is the thing that makes it restrictive, and scar tissue makes inflammation. So inflammation makes it tight and hard. It was just crazy. But I'm telling you, like all the things that make you hurt, I can fix in a
wow.
very short period of time. It's
I
Talking
great.
about
love it.
stuff makes her excited.
I
Let
am
me
so
throw out
excited.
here. Let me throw out here that OneStream Live says that lighting is key. The more purposeful you utilize lighting for your studio slash home setup, the better results you get. So I am looking
Absolutely.
forward to your kit.co and your affiliate links, DJ Strick.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, tell everybody where they can find you, what social platforms you hang out on.
Oh my gosh. I'm on LinkedIn. Um, you can find me L Kersey on there, and Lux Maverick. You can find it on Instagram. But the best way to reach out to us, I think, is just go to our website because that's where everything kind of culminates. LuxMaverick.com.
Okay. How about you,
And
DJ?
I am DJ Strick on Facebook, so you can find me on Facebook, inbox me. I would love to talk to you and contact you. But I am Strick City on all other platforms, so LinkedIn, Strick City, Instagram, Strick City, and Twitter, Strick City. So you can find me there as well.
All right. Well,
Monday.
Mondays, 7 Eastern Time, um,
The Streamers
Streamers
Hub,
Hub. Yep.
where we dive into all things OneStream Live. We've been talking about the studio for a long time, so we're going to continue to do some more studio stuff because very soon we will have the studio release for everyone. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. And I want to point out to people, DJ Strick is generously teaching us how to use this platform. Use it. Do the stuff he's telling you to do and use it in public because you'll better know how to utilize everything that it offers.
Oh, thank you so very much, Erica.
All right. I'm following you
Please
on
do,
Facebook.
please do.
I did follow you on Facebook.
And I'm gonna be right back. I'll follow you right back.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, both of you guys. And hopefully I'll see you again later.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.